Okay, let's see how we can use SQLite instead of JSON file and make our program a little bit more professional. To use SQLite, we need to install Better SQLite 3 module. So we go to the terminal and type npm install better-SQLite 3. Okay, we could install it. Now we need to initialize our database. To do that, it's better to do this kind of stuff in a separate and dedicated file. So we create a new file, Node.js file. Let's name it db.js. And now we need to import database class from module Better SQLite. After doing this, we need to create an object from database class. And for the parameter, we need to specify a file name that is used as the place that whole database will be stored in. Let's name it data.db. We can use db.exec to execute any SQL command that we want. But we usually use this exec method only when we want to initialize our database and we don't need anything from our users. Here we usually create our tables. Create table if not exists, and here the table name users. Now we need to define fields. In this case, we have two fields, registered at big int, the data type, and we can say primary key. You know that each relational database should have a primary key, and in our case, this field is the primary key of our table. Also, we have a field fname of type text, which cannot be null, not null. That's it for now. You see, this is a hard-coded SQL command. We don't get any parameter from users, so it's safe to execute it. So after executing this command, if there is no such table in our database, this command creates such a table for us. And you can create other tables, db.exec, other stuff. But for our use case, we are good now. We don't need any more tables. At the end, we should type export default this object that we created. So whenever we import this file, by default, this object will be imported to the color program. I save this and go back to the main application. This time I type import db from the name of the file, db.js. Now we can use that object in our program. It's good to prepare some SQL commands that you are going to use in your program. So I define some actually a statement object, new st empty db.prepare. This part is very important. Prepare method allows you to prepare a parameterized SQL command. These parameters are supposed to be filled with data that we get from users. If you do this, Actually, you automatically prevent SQL injection attack. If you don't know about it, I suggest you to study it. Here, I want to say insert into users registered at and if name values. Here, instead of actual value, I put a question mark instead of parameters. Now I have an object with some methods. One of them is run, which execute the SQL command, and we used it for SQL commands that actually doesn't need to return anything. So in this case, we want to insert something to our database. So this is the right method to use. Let's create another statement, get empty, that get all the records from our database, select registered at and if name from users without any parameter. Also, let me create another statement for deleting a user, db prepare delete from users where registered at equal question mark. So this statement has one parameter. Now, we prepared the SQL commands that we may need in this project. We don't need the list anymore. Here at the beginning, we need to say get statement dot all. Here I used all method. All method actually is used when your query is a select query. It extracts data and return it as a list. Okay. Let's say list colon here. When we want to delete the item, this time we should use del statement dot run. We don't need to get anything back from the database. This statement gets one parameter. In this case, the parameter is this one. After deleting, we are good. We redirect the user to the register row, and this one for the insert. Here we need to execute new smt command with two parameters, date that now, and the second parameter is rec that body that if name. We don't need this anymore. And here we need to execute this command again to get all the records. Let's execute this program. Hope everything is good. So far we are good. Let's go back here. Okay. We haven't got any error. We could save data. Okay, let's delete this one. Okay, there's an error here. Let's see what was the error. What is the error? It says U is not defined. Let's find the delete one actually. This one, yeah, okay. Rec that body. Save it. And let me restart the server. First of all, if we go here, we see that our data is there. Nothing has lost. Let's delete this. Again, we have a problem. Registered at. Okay. Sorry, that the parameter should be ID, not body. Actually, it is from the query, from the parameters object. Okay, let's go back here. Actually, I need to restart. I need to restart the server. So, okay, our data is there. Everything is working. That's great. I intentionally didn't edit this video because I want you to see how you can actually debug your code.